Nigel, you've already shown us the memorials put in place by Belfast City Council. Is there anything else we should be keeping an eye out for?
Yeah, one of the things that Belfast is famous for is its murals.
Indeed.
And there are several murals that are commemorate the German air raids. 3 of them are painted and 2 of them are what I would call polymer memorials. We'll see one of those later on. But to my mind, this mural at Hogarth Street is one of the best because it features so many iconic images from the time of the Blitz that were published in a book called Bombs on Belfast, which was produced by the Belfast Telegraph. So all the images in it were photographs taken by their photographers or reporters. So for example, in this mural, when you look at the very top, you've got 2 German bombers and you've got buildings, churches that are ablaze. And if you look very closely, you can see 3 bombs falling from the bomb bay of the forward aircraft. When you come down, further down, you've got, on one side, you've got the ruin of Newington Presbyterian Church, which is on the limestone road. Below that, you've got the iconic image of a milkman with his crate of bottles going over the rubble to deliver milk to people's houses. You've got evacuees represented as sitting on a sofa. On the other side, you've got the wreckage of what was Duncairn Gardens Methodist Church, and there's a Blitz, Belfast City Council Blitz there that records that up to 80 lives were lost at Hogarth Street. Hogarth Street was essentially destroyed. Only a few houses were left standing or habitable, and it was eventually rebuilt in the 1950s and 1960s. You've then got an image of a lady playing a pipe organ, which would have been bellows driven, which was recovered from a hall or a church. But one of the things I like about this mural is there's 2 boxes, electricity boxes or gas boxes, and they've been painted to look like a set of chest of drawers. And you've then got a worker, somebody who's clearing the rubble, standing behind it, resting his hands, as if he's resting his hands on the top of a chest of drawers in a house. And it's just a fantastic mural. It covers so many aspects. In the middle, you've got an overturned truck. You've got workmen clearing rubble from destroyed houses. But whilst 80 people lost their lives at Hogarth Street, which basically ran down this way, there were also people who lost their lives in the greater, what's called Tigers Bay area. And there used to be a memorial plaque which recorded the names of 110 fatalities from this area. And the eldest of those fatalities was 93 years old. There were also, one of the other tragedies is that some of the people that lost their lives at Hogarth Street actually had addresses in Scotland. Why? Well, the probability is that they were sent home to Belfast. They'd originally come from Belfast. The families had gone to Glasgow or Renfrewshire for seeking employment in the shipyards on the Clyde, and they were sent home to Belfast because it was deemed that Belfast was safer than Glasgow, because there was the perception that the German bombers did not have the capacity to reach Ireland, to reach Belfast, whereas they did. We don't know why that perception existed within the British government hierarchy. Possibly they were thinking of aircraft leaving Germany rather than aircraft leaving the coast of France. So there were at least 4 people who died here whose husbands and fathers were living in Glasgow, and they were sent home to die. In one case, 4 people from Scotland were died at Hogarth Street. Harriet Dornan, 69, and her daughter Sissy had been sent home, and they were living with Harriet's daughter and their family, and the whole family died. So there was 5 people who died at number 72. So you've got this where people are being sent to Belfast for safety and they end up dying in Belfast. 8 members of the Donnelly family from Hogarth Street died in the German air raids at number 23. Joseph Michael Donnelly and his sons were all Roman Catholics. His wife and their daughters were all Protestants. And they were living in what is now a die-hard loyalist area of Belfast. But they lived together, they lived with their neighbours. There wasn't the same issues that we faced here in Northern Ireland and Belfast in the late 1960s, and indeed earlier in the early 1920s. A lot of the bodies were never recovered, and there were a series of coroner's inquiries held in from June through to October 1941, where people who were missing were declared dead. So we've got this fantastic mural and a Blitz plaque, and it's the only place where there's a Blitz plaque and a mural in the same location, which commemorates the people who died in this area during the German air raids.